Good morning from Rochester, Minnesota. So I drive Uber and Lyft. I've been doing this full time now for a few months, and a total of about a year now. I started out part time. My purpose of this video is to tell you about an Uber and Lyft scam that's going on, where people pretend to be passengers or riders. They schedule a ride and then call you through the app and pretend to be Uber or Lyft support. So my goal is to tell you about how I got scammed, how someone tried to scam me yesterday, but I got a couple dollars from them instead. And if this ever happens to you as a driver, what can you do to get some money out of the deal? Not a lot, but at least it pays a little bit of your time. So to go back, when I first started, I was maybe 3 weeks into driving. I was only doing it part-time. It was the end of the week. It was a Friday afternoon, or right around 4 o'clock. I was just accepting every ride that came through. At that day, I was only driving Uber. And I dropped a passenger off, or dropped a rider off at Apache Mall. I'm from Rochester, Minnesota. So I had dropped them off. I was pulling out of the mall to go to my next pickup. Well, as soon as I hit the stoplight pulling out of the mall, I get a phone call. This person claims to be from Uber support, claims that the passengers I had just dropped off reported me for smelling like alcohol. They were checking in with me because they were going to deactivate my account, and told me I needed to turn around and find a parking spot and wait while they investigate the matter. And me being brand new to this, never even heard of Uber and Lyft scams before, I fell for this. I immediately turned around and went back into Apache Mall's parking lot, found a parking spot, and parked it. So they knew all about my car. They knew my license plate number, my car, the color of car, my name, full name, it seemed like they knew a lot of information about me. Now I know that that's all information in your app from someone who, schedules a ride, but I had no idea at the time. So I had just, like an idiot, verified my name. Then they asked me to verify my phone number, so I gave that to them. Well, then they said in order for me to prove who I was and that it was legitimately me, I needed to give them the 6-digit code that they had just texted to me. Well, I didn't realize that that's what you need to log into your account, is the phone number and then the 6-digit code. I had never, aside from the first time, I had never done it again because it's just automatic on my phone, right? So I stupidly gave it to them. And then I kept telling them, just get the cops. I don't drink. I haven't drunk in probably 10 years. I had a glass of wine at my wedding 4 or 5 years ago. After that, I haven't touched any alcohol. And that wasn't even a full glass. I shared that with my wife. So anyway, I was kind of taken aback by the whole thing, like really surprised, and believed that they were honestly investigating me. So anyway, then I started complaining about the amount of time. They kept me on the phone for about 2 hours. I started complaining about the time, and they said, well, we'll pay you for your time. You just need to go to Uber Wallet and enter this card number. And so I did, thinking, because I don't do any of that. I had it automated to go straight to my, from my Uber account straight to my bank account once a week. So I didn't know about all of these other payment options that Uber has. So I did. I went to Uber Wallet, entered a card number, used my thumbprint to authorize what I thought was me being paid, and they cleaned out my account. I had about $300 in there. They took it all. So right away, when I got off the phone, I realized that what had happened, and I called Uber, and they were no help at all. Like, how do you call someone stupid without actually saying you're a dumbass, you know? It was one of those deals. But I had no idea. Like, honestly, I legitimately thought they were support. Um, so anyway, fast forward a year. I have not had any phone calls like that now. Since then, I've had about 5,500 rides between Uber and Lyft. And everything's gone quite well. I've got a 5-star rating on both. Or Uber, I think, is 4.9. Lyft is 5.0. And anyway, I get a random call yesterday through Lyft this time. They said that I needed to pull over immediately. They're from Lyft support. And that one of my previous passengers had just reported that I did not match my profile picture. Well, right away in my mind, I'm like, my picture was only taken, like, I think I have a even more current picture on just a few months ago. So I'm probably the biggest driver in Rochester. And I'm the only one who completely shaves his head. So it's like, there's no way they can mistake me. That's insane. So anyway, I just kept driving. I was only like 3 or 4 blocks from the pickup location. So what had happened is, these rides are auto-generated on Lyft. Or at least that's the way I have my phone set up. So it auto-accepts the rides. I don't have to think about it. I just move on to the next one. And in this case, I had dropped one rider off. It automatically switched to the next rider so I could proceed to the destination. And I was en route when that phone call came through. The person on the other end of the phone knew where I was at and knew my first name, knew my license plate of my car, the license number, and then asked me to verify the color of my car. So there again, for a new driver, you could mistake that information, not realizing that that's all information that's in the app that the rider sees. And so they can even follow you when you're en route to pick them up. They know where you're at. And that's what this person was doing. So anyway, I said, oh yeah, I'll pull over as soon as I can. And I actually kept driving, and the ride request was to pick up at the government center in Rochester. So I went to the pickup spot, swiped to say that the rider had gotten in the car, and then I started driving towards Highway 52. I didn't make it very far before they realized what was going on, but they asked me to verify my number. I didn't have my backup phone with me. I only had my main phone. So I just said, yeah, it's the number you called me from. That's the number. They said, no, we need you on this recorded line to verify your phone number. And I said, yeah, that's the one you called me on. That's the right number. And so I had made it about 3 or 4 blocks by then, and then they saw that I was driving on their dime. So they quickly canceled the ride, which canceled the phone call. So here's something to kind of know. If you're close by, if you're further away, don't waste any of your time. But I was less than 4 minutes, like 3 minutes away from the pickup location. So I just drove there and kept driving even as soon as I knew it was a scam. Because then from there, I fully intended to get on the highway and try to keep them busy. But they figured it out right away. But for new drivers, what you can do is swipe down. If you got an Android phone, swipe down. As soon as you get that phone call, turn off your location. If you turn off your location, they think that you parked because it stays right there where you turned it off. And then you keep driving, go to the pickup location, and then turn your locate back on, and then swipe that you picked up the passenger. And if you can get on a highway, get on the highway and put on some miles if you can. And if you have a backup phone, Give them that phone number. And then they're going to keep messing with you. It'll keep them busy for a while. So you can put on, if they don't realize that you're driving on their dime, you can maybe put on quite a few miles. I haven't tried it yet because like I said, I didn't have my backup phone yesterday, but it's something worth trying. And put on as many miles and as many minutes as you can before they figure it out. Because if they're going to waste your time, you might as well get paid for it. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth of advice for Uber and Lyft drivers, especially new guys. Don't get taken by these scams. Uber and Lyft will never call you. Like over a drunk driving incident, they're not going to call you. They're going to tell the rider to call the cops. Like that's what they're going to do. Like they told me that in support. They would never call you over that, and then they'll deactivate your account. So automatically, they're not gonna call and ask you any questions about it. And same with your matching profile picture. If you drive a lot, they check in with you, and they'll just like you'll go online, and they want your picture, and so occasionally a picture of your driver's license front and back. Like I don't remember which does which. I think it's Lyft that does that, and Uber just wants your photo, and then they just check your eyes. Like I'm pretty sure that's how they tell who you are. So anyway, have a good day, and I hope that helps somebody.